So, as anyone that watches this channel knows, I am a massive 80s cartoon fan. I grew up in the 80s and I lived through some of the best days of cartoons in my opinion. Well, I had tremendous series like He-Man, Transformers and of course, one of my all-time favourites, the Thundercats. Thundercats was a toy line and a cartoon series I was absolutely obsessed with as a young nipper. So, I was extremely excited to see that we had a new Thundercats comic coming from Dynamite Comics. Fresh on the heels of the Daniel Warren Johnson relaunch of Transformers, which has been absolutely bloody spectacular. So as you can imagine, I was absolutely hyper to get the first copy of Thundercats in my grubby little paws. Paws. See what I did there? Anyway, I got the first copy in my hands this morning and I've sat down and read it. And here is my review. So let's get this out in the open straight away. I have a lot of nostalgia for this property, so I went in excited. Now, does that mean I read this with rose-tinted glasses, or does it mean I went in overly critical of a beloved franchise? I don't even know, because this comic has left me quite meh, I guess is the best word I can use to describe it. The story is a pretty straightforward one. We get a retelling, briefly, of the Thundercats' origin. And we get the crash ship, and we get a kind of a very, very quick montage of the first week or two on the planet with them training Lion-O and all the rest of it. The dialogue is okay. The pace of the story for me was pretty good, and the overall storyline was nothing fantastically new, but it did the trick for an issue 1, particularly I would imagine for people who aren't familiar with this property. I did enjoy some of the back and forth of the characters. I enjoyed seeing Panthro and Lion-O kind of in the training setup and all that kind of thing. And it was nice to see some of the other cats exploring the planet. I confess, when I was reading the comic, I was hearing the Thundercats' voices from the 80s cartoon in my head as each character spoke, which I did enjoy. Now, there have been some interesting changes here. First thing I'm going to say is, Tash! What the shit is this? What's going on with Tigra's face? It's worth saying, Tigra is my favourite character. Always has been. I've got multiple versions of him in action figure format. I have never seen him with such a friggin' ridiculous handlebar moustache malarkey go. What? Hate it. Bloody hate it. Get rid of that. Get some razor blades on Third Earth, please. Next, the costume designs are okay. They've been brought into the modern age, I guess, but I would have loved to have seen some classic cat costumes in here. Give us a bit of the original 80s nostalgia feel, please. Yes, you can update them, but these are a little bit too weird for me. And that does bring us on to probably the most disappointing element of this book for me, the artwork. Now, art is subjective, I get that. Some people will have loved this, and I am going to say straight off, there were some pages here that I thought looked fantastic. I really enjoyed the Thundercats horse scene, but for the majority, this artwork left me absolutely cold. It didn't excite me, it didn't take us into the story, it's just not for me, sadly. Like I say, artwork is subjective. Some people will have hopefully really enjoyed this, but for me, this is a big budget book. This should have been a comic to rival Transformers 1 that came out recently, but instead, it's fallen a bit on its arse for us. So overall, what do I think? Was it a good first issue? The story did engage us. I will be picking up issue 2 because it's Thundercats, and I love it. But am I excited as I was when I read Transformers issue 1? Absolutely not. It hasn't blown us away like I hoped it would. Overall, decidedly average, which kills us because this really, I wanted to be a huge success. Interested to know your thoughts, ladies and gents. Did this artwork fit for you? Did you like the storyline? Did you read it with the Thundercats voices in your brain? Because I certainly did. Let us know what you think in the comments. And please do remember, any money raised on this channel goes towards mental health charities. That is your whack. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Take care. Ho!